house was filled with the soft but growing sound of crying. Two babies were crying at the same time, and managing both was no easy task. How would it be? They were barely a week old. One was alone at home with the twins. There were a few housemaids, but they only stayed during the day. After finishing their chores, they would leave by evening. The babies had been sleeping peacefully until one of them woke up, and since they were twins, once one started crying, the other followed right after. One had been taking a shower when she heard the cries. She rushed out, water still dripping from her hair, and found her babies' little faces red from crying, yet not a single tear rolled down their cheeks. She didn't know whether to laugh or worry. They were crying so loudly, but their tiny eyes were still dry, just too young for tears to fall. Every time Rafa would hear, one picked up both babies in her arms. They kept crying even as she held them close to her chest. In a hurry, she reached for the breast pump. She filled the small baby bottles and gently placed the nipple near their mouths. The twins immediately began to drink hungrily, making small soft sounds that made her hurt. One smiled tenderly. "Why, my sweet babies, you must have been so hungry." The twins finished feeding. Their little eyes fluttered open, and both looked at her with innocent curiosity. They smiled. One chuckled, exhausted but happy. "Why, you little troublemakers, you have kept me awake for days, and now you're smiling at me like nothing happened." Babies soon drifted back to sleep. Their breathing soft and steady. Newborns always slept a lot, but never when you wanted them to. One sat beside them, studying their faces, the tiny noses just like their father's, those big round eyes exactly like his, and even their lips identical. Escaped her lips when I carried you for 9 long months, and yet you both ended up looking exactly like your father. Not fair. Her heart fluttered as she remembered what day it was. He was coming home today, Jungkook. He didn't know anything. He had no idea that while he was away on his military mission, his family had grown not by one, but two beautiful little souls. One could hardly contain her excitement. She had dreamed of this moment for weeks, the look on his face when he would finally see the twins. Jungkook hadn't been able to call. Communication during missions wasn't allowed. One had thought of writing him a letter about the pregnancy, but she could not. She didn't want to distract him or cause worry in the middle of danger. She wanted this, the moment of truth, to be surprised of his life. Smiling to herself, she whispered, "Why, just wait till you see them, Jungkook. You won't believe your eyes." Gently, she changed the twins' diapers, tidied the crib, and headed downstairs to prepare for his arrival, her heart pounding with anticipation, joy, and love. The afternoon sun filtered through the curtains, painting the room in a warm golden glow. One had been up since morning, her heart racing faster with every passing hour. Today wasn't just any day, Jungkook was coming home. The house buzzed with With quiet excitement, the maids moved quickly, polishing, cooking, and arranging decoration under Wang's careful eyes. The sweet aroma of freshly baked cookies and roasted chicken filled the air. Soft music played in the background, the same melody she used to hum when Jungkook was home. Went back into the living room, holding a bunch of white lilies. She placed them on the table and adjusted the candle beside the photo frame, a photo of her and Jungkook smiling in their uniforms before he left for his mission. She stared at it for a moment, her throat tightening. When you will finally see them today, she whispered softly, brushing the frame with her fingers. Entered holding a tray. Maid, ma'am, should I serve the dessert now or wait until sir arrives? Wine, wait till he comes. Everything has to be perfect tonight. Maid smiling, he will be so happy, ma'am. You have made the house look like a dream. Wine laughing lightly, let's hope he doesn't faint from shock first. The maid chuckled and Wine joined them, though her eyes keep glancing at the clock every few minutes. Had begun to stir, a soft whimper broke through the calm. One rushed to their room where the babies wriggled under the blanket. She leaned over, her voice gentle as silk. One, hey my angels, your daddy is coming home today. The babies cooed softly, their tiny hands waving in the air. One smiled, lifting them one by one. Her mind drifted to the last day. She saw Jungkook, that quick hug before his helicopter took off. His last was echoing in her ears. When, wait for me, no matter how long it takes. And she did. Though every sleepless night, every kick in her belly, every tear she moved alone, she waited. The evening light tuned into orange. The car stopped outside. Once froze, her heart skipped a beat. Through the window, she saw him stepping out of the car in his army uniform, duffel bag slung over his shoulder. His face tired but still carrying that quiet strength. For a moment, she couldn't move. Her eyes filled with tears. He was home. She turned to the twins, whispering, "He is here." The maids were whispering excitedly, "Maria, he is really here. Oh, the look on his face is going to be priceless." One from upstairs, "Everyone stay calm. No one says a word about the babies yet." She placed the twins carefully in the crib and fixed her hair in the mirror. Her reflection looked nervous but radiant, the kind of glow that only love and longing could create. Taking a deep breath, she went downstairs. In the doorway, looking around the house with a small smile. "Jungkook, it still smells like home." One softly, "Welcome home, soldier." He turned, and the moment their eyes met, months of distance melted away. He dropped the bag and closed the space between them, pulling her into his arms. Jungkook whispering, "I missed you every damn second." While holding him tight, "You were funded here, I can't believe it." He looked around, noticing the decoration, the dinner table, the candles. Jungkook teasing, "Did I forget our anniversary or something?" When, smiling mysteriously, "No, but you did miss a lot." Before he could ask, a faint cry echoed from upstairs. Jungkook frowned slightly. "Jungkook, was that a baby?" Why grinning? "Two, actually." He blinked, confused. "Jungkook, two whose?" But Wine was already leading him up the stairs, her hand in his heart pounding, not understanding what was coming. When they reached the nursery, Jungkook stopped cold. His eyes widened as he saw the two tiny cribs, the pastel blanket, the toys. He turned to her, stunned, speechless. "Jungkook, why are they ours?" One noted, tears falling freely, one whispering surprise. the baby, small, perfect, breathing softly. He reached out a hand, touching one tiny palm that instantly wrapped around his finger. A single tear rolled down his cheek. Jungkook, I missed their first kiss, their first breath, but I swear I will never miss another. One smiled through her tears and knelt beside him. One, they have been waiting for you. We all have. Jungkook pulled her close, resting his forehead against hers. Jungkook softly, this is the best mission I have ever completed. Gentle lifting both babies into her arms. One softly hair met your son's. Jungkook looked up, disbelief and awe flooding his face. One knelt beside him and carefully placed both babies into his arms. For a second, he just stared at them, as though afraid that blinking might make them disappear. Then his lips parted in a shaky whisper. Jungkook, you're beautiful, my little princess. And kissed each tiny forehead, one after the other. His lip lingers there for a moment longer than usual, as if trying to memorize the feeling of warmth of life. Tears welled up in his eyes. Jungkook, I fought so many battles out there, Ryan, but nothing prepared me for this. They are my greatest victory. Anna smiled through her own tears. One, victory looks good on you, Captain. Jungkook laughed softly, still staring at the twins. One of them opened his eyes and blinked up at him, while the other yawned, his tiny mouth stretching in the sweetest way. Jungkook grinning, look at that. They are even making faces like me already. One pretending to pout. Exactly everything, the eyes, the nose, even the smirk, all yours. What about me, huh? Should I contribute anything? Jungkook laughing, oh you did. You gave them life, Ryan. You gave me life. She made her eyes, but could not hide the smile tugging at her lips. One, you were too smooth for a soldier. Jungkook, yes, I learned diplomacy on the battlefield. They both laughed quietly. The twins seemed to respond to the sound of their parents' laughter. Both opened their eyes, looking up at Jungkook's face, their tiny brows furrowed as if trying to recognize him. Jungkook, hey little ones, do you know who I am? I'm your dad, the man who has been dreaming of holding you without even knowing you existed. One's heart melted watching him. She reached out, brushing her fingers gently through Jungkook's hair. Jungkook, they're already known. Look at them. They can't take their eyes off you. Jungkook looked at her with tears glistening in his eyes. Jungkook, when I was out there, even night before sleeping, I used to imagine coming home to you, but this, I never dared to dream this big. One whispering, you missed so much. Their first cry, their first night, but we felt you with us every moment, even when you weren't here. Jungkook pressed his lips together, holding back a sob, gently placed one baby against his chest, feeling the tiny heartbeat. Jungkook, I swear, Ryan, no matter what happens, I will never leave again, not if I can help it. Ryan, you don't have to promise. 5 minutes passed, the kind that makes time stop. The soft hum of the night lamp, the slow rhythm of the baby's breath, and the faint scent of roses from the window made everything feel unreal, dreamlike. Jungkook looked up suddenly, noticing the painting above the cliff, the one Ryan had painted during pregnancy, 2 tiny handprints with the words "Our Forever." Jungkook, you painted this? Why? I wanted them to see their world before they even opened their eyes. Jungkook, you made it home while I was out fighting for it. You are incredible. One blushed lightly, brushing her thumb across the baby's cheek. Wine, they really do look like you, though it's unfair. Jungkook grinning, maybe the next ones will look like you. Wine pretending to gasp, next ones? You're already planning a sequel? Jungkook laughing, why not? You make beautiful miracles. Their laughter filled the room, soft, genuine, and overflowing with love. There was a gentle knock at the door. Maria, ma'am, sir, dinner is ready. One looked at the clock and smiled. One, already time slipped away. Jungkook looked reluctant to move. Jungkook, can I keep holding them a little longer? One, of course. They have been waiting for this hour for a week. Slowly, still holding both babies in his arms, their small bodies resting against his chest. As he walked toward the door, the maid standing nearby could not help but smile. Lily, another maid, it looks like he is holding the whole world. While hearing her smiling, that's because he is. They went downstairs together. The dining room was softly lit with candles. The table was set with their favorite dishes, creamy soup, roasted chicken, warm bread, and chocolate pudding for dessert. Two tiny blue beeps were folded neatly beside Jungkook's plate, Wine's idea. Sat down with the baby still in his arms while Wine carefully placed them in a small cradle beside the table. The soft glow of candlelight danced across their sleepy faces. Jungkook, you even set places for them while smiling. Of course, they are part of us now. As they began to eat, he kept glancing at the candle every few seconds, unable to believe his reality. Jungkook, you know, in the camp, all I wanted was a warm meal and peace. Now I have this, a home, a family. It feels unreal. While gently, it's real, Jungkook. You earned it. He reached across the table, taking her hand. Jungkook, thank you for everything you went through, for being strong when I could not be here. When I wasn't always strong, there were nights I cried, days I wanted to give up, but then I touched my belly and think, this is for him, for you. Jungkook squeezed her hand, eyes shining. Jungkook, you are my hero, Wine. I might have fought wars outside, but you fought the harder one alone. One smile, tears falling again. One, we both won then. The baby stirred slightly, and Jungkook immediately stood up, walking over to them. He leaned down and kissed each one again, whispering, Jungkook, sleep well, my princess. Your dad's home now. Had finally fallen asleep, their soft breathing filling the quiet, warm air of the bedroom. The faint glow of the night lamp painted everything in a golden hue. One gently tucked the blanket around them, brushing her fingers over their tiny hands before turning around to see Jungkook watching her silently, leaning against the doorframe. Jungkook softly, they look peaceful, just like you while you're asleep. Wine smiling softly, oh really, you have been watching me sleep now? Jungkook grinning, always have, it's my favorite way to calm down after a long day. One rolled her eyes, trying to hide the blush spreading on her cheeks. Jungkook walked up to her, wrapping his arms around her waist from behind, resting his chin on her shoulder. Jungkook whispering, "You did all this while alone. The house, the twins, everything. I don't know how you managed." In a teasing tone, "By being stronger than my military husband maybe." Jungkook chuckled, his lips brushing against her ear. "Jungkook, Tushi, but still, you are my greatest victory." My dress in his arms, eyes soft but shining. "Wine, and you are my biggest headache." They both burst into quiet laughter, afraid of waking the babies. Jungkook leaned in, pressing a gentle kiss on her forehead. Then her lips, slow, deep, full of longing. Just then, one of the twins suddenly woke up and began to cry. "Perfect timing, my little prince." Jungkook laughing guess he could not stand seeing his mom being stolen by me. One gave him a playful slap on the chest and went to pick up the baby, but he stopped her. "Jungkook, no, let me. I have missed this." He lifted the baby in his strong arms, trying to rock him gently, but within a second, the other twins started crying too, one grinning. "See, now they're jealous of each other. Welcome to fatherhood." Jungkook pretending to panic. "Abort mission, I repeat, abort mission." One laughed so hard she had to cover her mouth. "Jungkook, you can command a whole military unit, but can't handle two tiny babies." Jungkook smirking, "At least the soldiers don't roll on my shoulder." One giggled as he made funny faces to calm the twins down. After a few minutes, both babies stopped crying, one tugging at Jungkook's shirt, the other falling asleep in his arm. Jungkook softly looking at them. "They are my world, Wine, and you are the reason it exists." Once I softened, she walked up and rested her head on his shoulder. "Wine, then promise me you won't leave again." "I promise. No mission is more important than this home, than you." "Wine, I love you." "Jungkook, I love you too." The baby snuggled between them as the night wrapped them in a warm silence, a perfect blend of love, laughter, and